Garrett. Okay, what would you like to see? Mary, can you pick your head up for me, please? Feel like you know how to do all the factoring? Okay, usually by this point what I find is you guys are pretty good at factoring. The thing that people run into trouble with is knowing which type of factoring to use when. Okay? Why, you still with me back there? Okay. So this one here, the first thing I would look for in every one of these problems is a GCF. Okay? Look for a GCF first. Is there a GCF in this one? Can I pull anything out of all three of those pieces? What? I'm looking at number 6. Anything I can pull out of x squared, 2x, and 8? No, nothing. Okay, but that's a trinomial, right? That's like x squared plus something x plus something. So this is where I would look at the signs, and I would say, okay, that's negative. That means I'm going to have a plus and a minus. And what kind of numbers am I looking for? Numbers that do what? Okay, add up to be 2 and multiply to be 8. And I would focus on the multiply to 8 part. Give me some numbers that multiply to 8. 2 and 4? Okay. Will 2 and 4 subtract to make 2? And I say subtract because if you've got one positive and one negative, when you add them, it's really like subtracting them. Okay, so 4 and 2, which one of those do I want to make positive? Isaac? Make the 2 positive, the 4 negative? Does 2 plus negative 4 give me negative 2? Yeah, it sure does. That's as factors as it will get. All right, number 7. What kind of factoring is that one? It's perfect squares, yeah. X squared minus 25. So that's where you say, okay, x squared breaks into x and x. And 25 breaks into 5 and 5. And what do my signs do? 1 plus, 1 minus. Good. Something like number 8. What are you going to do? Okay, that one I would just pull out a GCF. And I think on that one, a GCF is all you're going to be able to do. Usually after you pull out the GCF, you need to check to see if there's anything else that you can do. But I think that one's going to be messy enough to where there's nothing else that'll work. What about number 9? Perfect squares, yeah. So what would that break down into? Good. 3x plus 1, 3x minus 1. Okay, I want to look at, this is another trinomial. All right, so this is where you're doing almost like number 1, where you're thinking about the signs and stuff like that. I want to look at number 11. What are we going to do first on number 11? Okay, so what can go into all of those? 2 and an x, right? So then left here, if I took the 2 out, that would be 1, and x to the third would become x squared. This would become a 4, and then it would just have 1x left on it. And then this would become a 5 with no x's. Okay, so I've got my GCF out of there. Now, after I pulled out the GCF, look at what I had. Will that factor further? Yeah, that's a trinomial. What multiplies to negative 5? Well, what are my signs going to be if I'm multiplying to a negative, first of all? One of each, yep. So I need something that multiplies to make 5 and subtracts to make 4. 1 and 5, which one's going to be positive? The 5. So that would, this part would factor into that, and then I have to bring down my 2x in front of it. Don't forget to bring down that 2x. Okay, so that one was a 2-step one. And then number 12, I said you could cross off. Good? Feel pretty good about the factoring? Okay. On the back. Okay, these are just multiplying problems, so it's almost like FOIL, or the distributive property. You could also set these up in that box method that we've learned. You want to see number 16? Oh, 16 is the box one. How about 13, 14, 15? I vote 15. Let's do 15. What does this little square here mean? Okay, that I need this parenthesis written out twice. So I need to do 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4 and then that will be multiplied by 2x minus 1. Notice I'm not writing that one out twice. Okay, that square only applies to this parenthesis. And now I'm going to like double FOIL. First I'm going to multiply these two together. I'm going to leave this one alone for now. I'm going to multiply these two together. Let's see, that would give me 9x squared plus 12x plus another 12x plus 16. And that's still being multiplied by 2x minus 1. I'm going to combine what I can in here. If you combine as you go, I mean, there's nothing wrong with waiting until the end and combining everything, but like right now, if I were to go through and multiply this, I would end up having to multiply all 4 of these by these 2. If I combine, I'm only going to have to multiply 3 of them. Okay. So 9x squared plus 24x plus 16 times 2x minus 1. And now I'm just going to start the process over again. So I'm going to do 9x squared times 2x is 18x to the third. 9x squared times negative 1 is negative 9x squared. 24x times 2x is 48x squared. 24x times negative 1 is negative 24x. 16 times 2x is 32x. And 16 times negative 1 is negative 16. And last thing I would want to do there is just combine anything that I can. I'll just go over here. So my final answer would be 18x to the third. I'm going to put these two together. Negative 9 plus 48 is 39. So 39x squared. Negative 24x and 32x makes 8x. And then a minus 16. And that there would be my final answer. Okay? So that's how you'd multiply out something like that. Really no easy way around it. Okay? I wish that there were. It's sort of a tedious process, but again, it's not too difficult. Okay, let's get to number 16 real quick. 16, just like the warm-up. Okay, but let's run through it again so you have it on your paper. Here's my sheet of cardboard. Okay, it's 2 feet long. Whoops, I guess the 2 feet should go here. 2 feet long, 4 feet long. And I'm going to cut out these squares in the corners. Okay, so now this is gone, and so on. Okay, and I'm going to fold here, 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 here. Okay, I want volume. How do I find volume of a box? Thank you. Volume equals length times width times height. If you don't know that, study that before tomorrow. Volume is length times width times height. So the length of the box when I fold up the flaps is going to be this dotted line right here. Okay, because the other flaps will be out of the way. What's the length of this dotted line right here?
4 minus 2.
Yeah, 4 minus 2x. Because these squares here are each an x. And so it used to be 4x, and I cut off an x here and an x here. Okay, so 4 minus 2x, which means the width of my box is what? 2 minus 2x. What's the height of my box? X, yep, because the width of the flap, when you stand that flap upright, this would be the height of the box, and that length is just x. So it would be 4 minus 2x times 2 minus 2x times just x. Again, I would FOIL these together, simplify, and then distribute the x. Okay. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times negative 2x is negative 8x. Negative 2x times 2 is negative 4x. Negative 2x times negative 2x is 4x squared. I'm going to simplify and rewrite that in standard form just so it'll be prettier. So 4x squared, that would give me negative 12x, and that would give me positive 8. distribute the x. So basically everything's going to get another x tacked onto it. My total volume then would be 4x cubed minus 12x squared plus 8x. That's it. Questions on any of that? Okay, I would make sure you go home tonight and at least go back over the problems in this packet that you felt like you didn't know how to do it at first. Even if you just wrote them down when I went through them, make sure that you would be able to do them from scratch, okay? I will collect this from you tomorrow when we take your test. Your test is going to start pretty much at the beginning of the hour tomorrow, okay? And then I will have your exam review packets ready to go for you after the test so that you can start on that right away. Questions? Problems? Everything good? Okay.